Ann, welcome to the Law Show.
Hi. My problem was I had a tank on the toilet crack.
Okay.
I called a plumber out, and he came out, and he was here for an hour. He replaced the toilet.
Okay.
Charged me $965.
A lot.
Oh, yeah, that's what everybody said. Wow. So when I went, after he did that, and I talked to other people, they said, no, that was too much. So I called a number of other plumbers, and they said about $375 to replace it. It wasn't on a weekend. It wasn't a holiday. It was on a Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning.
How much was the toilet itself?
He didn't give me a breakdown. That's what I wondered. Do I have a right to ask him for a breakdown as to how he came up with that $965?
You do have the right, but I don't think he has an obligation to give that to you.
Okay.
If he were a lawyer, then he'd for certain have an obligation to give it to you. But plumbers really are exempt, and really non-lawyers are exempt from having to give you a breakdown. Have you paid him yet?
Oh, he demanded the money before he came in. He wanted my Discover card, and then when the plumber came in, he called the Discover company and told them that he was here and that he was working on the toilet, and they debited my account right away.
Was it a debit out of your checking account, or was it a charge on your
out
credit?
of my Discover card.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to call Discover and tell them that you think that you've been a victim of fraud, and that the plumber charged you too much money for the service that was performed, and then they will take that money back from him while you go through that process, okay? You may not ultimately win it, but you can get some leverage by doing that. How long ago was it?
Oh, in September.
September? Then you
and then I went to Home Depot, and they had a sign that says $69 installed. So I asked the man over there, I said, what does that mean? He said, well, you buy the toilet, and we'll install it for $69.
You know, I'm sorry you didn't have that information before, Ann, but you got to take a look at what people are doing for you. You got to make sure that they're treating you fairly, and to ask you for money before they do the work or tell you how much it's going to cost and what it's going to be involved is not right. But you have the last chance to say, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. You got to tell me what it's going to cost, what it's going to be. My wife and I, we just had a new toilet installed in our own home, and it didn't cost even half of what she paid. But we knew in advance what it was going to cost within a particular range, and our plumber didn't go over that. He did a great job. So there's lots of great plumbers out there. You need to get a good plumber. It sounds like Ann didn't have a good plumber. But the thing is, don't give up your leverage by making the payment until you get the answers to the questions that you want. I'm Brian Dailey. I'm answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469 right here on 890 AM WLS, as I do every single Saturday